Good morning. Thank you so much to our guest musicians today, members of Solaris, and also guest dancers and choreographers and readers today. We have so many people who have come together to make this Palm Passion Sunday so full of the story. So thank you. We're so glad that you are all here. I have several announcements this morning as we enter this Holy Week. Today is a very different service. It begins with palms and celebration as we remember Jesus' entry into Jerusalem, and it ends with the story of Jesus dying on the cross. So there will be no fellowship time after the service today. We will leave in silence. And for Sunday school today, children 4th grade and under are invited to go to Sunday school. Older kids are invited to stay in the sanctuary, but parents and kids always do what you feel is best. Holy Week events. We have extra posters made up for Lent and Easter, and so you are welcome to take one as you leave this morning. There's a lot going on in the life of the church. There's Stations of the Cross that will happen Thursday and Friday here in the sanctuary. It will be open. We will have a Tenebrae service by candlelight in the vestry on Thursday at 7 p.m. There will be an Easter egg hunt on Saturday at noon, hosted by our youth. And then Easter Sunday, next Sunday, you can come at 5:30 in the morning if you want a sunrise service. We meet in the parking lot, hike up to the top of the hill for a bonfire, and that's a very short, beautiful service. And then services in the sanctuary are at 9 and 11 a.m. on Easter Sunday. And there will be hot cross buns in the vestry in between the services. So it's a lot of Holy Week announcements. Cameron.
Good morning. My announcement this morning is, again, to invite all of you to a listening session after the service on Sunday, April 19th. This will be hosted by Music Ministry and the Organ Task Force, and we want to get feedback from all of you on what you love about music at CCC and what we can do better. One of those topics will be guest musicians, like my wonderful friends who are here this morning. As you know, we've started having guest musicians once a month at the end of the month. Next month, we'll have the Onion River Jazz Band, and we'd like to know what have been your favorite guest musicians and who have we not had here yet that we should get in here and worshiping with us. So thank you.
Thank you, Cameron. Yeah. I'd like to invite forward some of the youth who participated in the Spectrum Sleepout on Thursday night. And we had 16 youth and several helpers, four chaperones helping with the sleep out. And so the youth are here to tell you a little bit about what we did and what we learned and fundraised. Thank you.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we did.
Nice.
We slept outside in the cold in tents to raise money and awareness for homeless youth in Vermont.
Sleeping outside was really cold and wet, and the wind was loud, which made it very hard to fall asleep. We woke up in puddles of water, and knowing that some people might not even have a tent is kind of scary.
One thing I learned about homelessness is that it's hard to get a good meal when you're always having packaged and canned foods. For dinner on Thursday, I had ramen, peanut butter crackers, and a spindrift, and that's not really that nutritious. When you're having that every night, it's hard to get a meal that's going to give you energy for the next day.
One thing I learned about both the sleep out and being homeless is that originally when I thought about the sleep out, I thought we were pretending to be homeless. Then I realized when I took part in it that over one night you can't experience what it's like to be homeless, because over that night I never had to worry about where I'm going to be sleeping the next night or when my next meal is. But when you are homeless, those are some things you do have to worry about.
Another thing was the day after was probably worse than the night, as I got probably like 3 hours of sleep, and I had to like go to school and like do all my like homework and stuff if I had any, and it made me tired, and I had to go to bed pretty much when I got home. But some people might not have to do that; they might have to work to get money.
I would recommend people to do Spectrum Sleep Out because it's a good way to raise awareness for youth homeless and raise money. And it's a cool experience to experience what they have to deal with, but you have a place to sleep the next night and they don't. We raised so much for Spectrum. We beat our goal by a lot. We raised $5,857.
Thank you so much for your donations, and we're still taking donations. We're still taking donations.
Thank you so much. So I can clarify that if you would like to donate, it is not too late. There is a link in the Courier, our newsletter that goes out, and that's also, you can find it on our website, or my email is on the back of each bulletin. You're welcome to email me, and I will make sure that you are able to donate either online or with check or cash. We did have a speaker from Spectrum come and talk to us on Thursday night, and the youth asked really thoughtful questions. I was really impressed with this group of youth. We had 5th graders to 8th graders, and I think it's a powerful event. I really want to thank the chaperones who helped make it possible: Mark Gable, Bubba Bristow, Scott Lamoth, and Bob Wanup. So thank you so much. And we did ask, we think about, what does this have to do with our faith? Why would we do this as a church group? And so some of the things we talked about were really poignant during this Holy Week, which is that Jesus suffered. Jesus knew what it meant to suffer. And so one thing we take away from that is God's solidarity and presence with anyone who is suffering. So anyone who is lonely, hungry, cold, despairing, God is with that person. So thank you so much, and thank you so much. With my immediate jump into announcements, I forgot to welcome everyone to Charlotte Congregational Church. No matter who you are or where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And if you're visiting or have a prayer request or would like to update any information, these cards are in the pews. Please fill one out, and you can just put it in the basket at either door. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I invite you to not stand. We are going to sing our meditation twice through, "In the Lord I'll be ever thankful."
This is a reading from Matthew chapter 21, verses 1 through 11. When they had come near Jerusalem and had reached Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, just say this: 'The Lord needs them,' and he will send them immediately." This took place to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet. "Tell the daughter of Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey, and on a colt, the foal of a donkey." The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed him. They brought the donkey and the colt and put their cloaks on them, and he sat on them. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and that followed were shouting, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest heaven." When he entered Jerusalem, the whole city was in turmoil, asking, "Who is this?" The crowds were saying, "This is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee." May God bless this reading to our hearing and our understanding.
I invite you to rise now in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 178, "All Glory, Laud, and Honor." Please be seated. And I invite any children to go to Sunday school at this time and learn how to make a cross out of one of these palms. Good morning.
As we come to our time of prayer, I would ask if you have people for whom you would like special prayers this morning. Bubba, are you here? Bubba will take the mic around. Still fundraising.
Still time.
So just raise your hand, and if you would, say your name first so we get to know each other better. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Vicki Powers. I'd like your prayers for my brother John Smith, who has to have hip surgery. He's having it on April 19th, but he's in severe pain right now, so thank you for your prayers.
Susan Perry or Ferry? Terry. So from Mark Gable, prayers for his friend and mentor, Susan Terry, who has been battling brain cancer for a long time and is now on hospice. Mark says that she was the voice of peace and mediation and love. Deirdre.
I have two. I don't have a mic today. So Sarah Sewell and Lee Oliva, prayers from them. They have a sick dog, Walker, who's almost 12 years old and a vitally important part of their lives, and they fear that the end is near.
So one from Sarah Soul and Lee Oliva, who have a sick dog whose name is Walker. Walker is 12 years old and suffering and near the end of his life. And we all know what it's like to lose your beloved dog or pet. Did you have another, Deirdre?
Yeah, this is from me. Just a prayer of gratitude that love exists in all its many forms. And we need it now, and we need to be reminded of how great it is to have love in the world and have love be our North Star.
So from Deirdre, she is so grateful and points out to us that love exists in this world and how wonderful it is that it is our North Star. As I often say at weddings, we give thanks for love embodied and shown at a wedding because it could have been different. That could not have been our default pitch. But what we default pitch to as humans is to love one another. And that's the way creation was made. Anyone else? Yes, Cameron.
Prayers for our choir member, Laura McCrae. She's been very sick with pneumonia over the past few weeks, and we pray that she gets well soon and is able to join us and sing on Easter.
So prayers, Laura, I heard, is Jesse. Feeling better? Where's Jesse? I saw him. Oh, and Ian, feeling better. Is this true? Yes. Intense prayers have been going out for Laura all week. And it was something when she texted me yesterday morning and said, feeling better. It's a big deal. Stephen? Oh, here.
Jody Brownell. Prayers from a close friend of mine from way back in grade school. Reunited with him as our friend group about a year ago. And a month ago, he got diagnosed with a brain tumor. And so he's now in respite. So he had just a short term of time to get himself together. And I pray for the family because this is such a quick thing for them to go through. Prayers for their family.
Yes, prayers for my friend Rafi, who lives in Dhaka. There's been a change in government there, and so he's no longer in peril.
Hi, Karen Waters. I'd like prayers for my older daughter, Danny, and her dad, who are on their way to Kennebunk, Maine, for the funeral of her cousin, his nephew, who died at age 29 of cancer. So to both of them traveling together and to all the family there. Thank you. His name is Connor.
Whew. So let us pray. This is called Out of Line. Holy God, shoulder to shoulder and seat to seat, heads bowed down and feet to feet, we sit and listen, sit and pray, and watch unfold this holy day. Watchers, we at this frightening hour lined up in pews to watch the power of a people's fear make love grow dim and cry with one voice, crucify him. Lining the streets of Jerusalem, standing shoulder to shoulder and feet to feet, would we have offered an apple to eat? Would we have reached a hand to wipe the sweat, the blood, the tears, the fright? Or turned instead from the bleak sight and prayed to God, this isn't right, and nothing done that wasn't safe, that wasn't meek, that caused a chafe against the chains we all must wear when shame's the burden that we bear. We line up at the traffic light, we sit in pews this morning bright, and in the line at the grocery store, cart to cart, we wish for more. But ever do we fill that cart with food for those with broken hearts? Step out of line and help the man who does not see his favorite can, who cannot reach the topmost shelf, who cannot save his broken self. Grant us the courage, give us the heart from expectations to depart, that we may venture out of line and in your love radiant shine. One person here, another there, offering hope, offering care, giving help, standing out, asking why, expressing doubt, reaching with love to those in need, that Easter morn we may indeed proclaim with joy and radiant glee, Christ lives today for you and me. Amen. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit and join in the Lord's Prayer. As we say together, our God who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Save us in time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, now and forever. Amen. Please be seated. As we come to our time of offering, I'm acutely aware of all of the need in this world that we prayed for just now, and also all of the gifts that we share with this world, whether it's our time, our energy, or our finances. We share because we have been blessed with so much. So thank you for all that you do to contribute to the work of this church. And if you feel moved to donate this morning, there are baskets at both doors, and there's a QR code in your bulletin,
or you can always go to our website. May God bless our gifts and use them to spread hope and healing in this world.
Then one of the 12,
who was called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests.
"What will you give me if I betray him to you?"
They paid him 30 pieces of silver, and from that moment he began to look for an opportunity to betray him. On the first day of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus.
"Where do you want us to make the preparations for you to eat the Passover?"
"Go into the city to a certain man and say to him, 'The teacher says, my time is near. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.'"
When it was evening, he took his place with the 12 disciples.
"I tell you truly, one of you will betray me."
"Surely not I, Lord."
"Surely not I, Lord."
"The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man goes as it is written of him. But woe to that one by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It is better for that one that he had not been born."
"Surely not I, Rabbi."
"You have said so. Take, eat. This is my body. Drink from this, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant which is poured out for the sins of many. I tell you, I will never again drink of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink anew with you in my Father's kingdom."
When they had sung the hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives.
"You will all fall away because of me this night, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I am raised up, I will go ahead of you to Galilee."
"Even if it all fall away because of you, I will never fall away."
"Truly, I tell you, this very night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times.
"Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you."
"Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you."
Then Jesus went with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to his disciples,
Sit here while I go over there and pray."
He took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee and began to be grieved and agitated.
"My soul is deeply grieved, even to death. Remain here and stay awake with me."
And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed.
"My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not what I want, but what you want."
Then he came to the disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to Peter,
"So you could not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you not come into the time of trial. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak."
Again, he went away for the 2nd time and prayed.
"My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done."
Again, he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for the 3rd time, saying the same words. Then he came to the disciples and said to them,
"Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? Now the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. Look, my betrayer is at hand."
While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying,
"The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him."
At once he came up to Jesus and said,
"Greetings, Rabbi."
"Friend, do what you are here to do."
Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him. Suddenly, one of those with Jesus put his hand on his sword, drew it, and struck the slave of the high priest,
cutting off his ear.
Put your sword back into its place, for all who take the sword will die by the sword. Do you think that I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once send me more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled, which say it must happen in this way?
At that hour, Jesus said to the crowds,
Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me as though I were a rebel? Day after day I sat in the temple and teaching, and you did not arrest me. But all this has taken place so that the scriptures of the prophets may be fulfilled.
Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders had gathered. But Peter was following him at a distance as far as the courtyard of the high priest. And going inside, he sat with the guards in order to see how this would end. Now the chief priests and the whole council were looking for false testimony against Jesus so that they might put him to death. But they found none, though many false witnesses came forward. At last, 2 came forward and said, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days.'" The high priest stood up and said,
"Have you no answer? What is it that they testify against you?" "I put you under oath before the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God."
You have said so, but I tell you, from now on, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power, coming on the clouds of heaven.
"He has blasphemed. Why do we still need witnesses? You have heard his blasphemy. What do you think?"
They answered, "He deserves death." Then they spat in his face and struck him, and some slapped him, saying, "Prophesy to us, you Messiah. Who is it that struck you?" Now Peter was sitting outside in the courtyard. A female servant came to him and said,
You also were with Jesus the Galilean.
I do not know what you're talking about.
This man was with Jesus the Nazarene.
I do not know the man.
Certainly you are also one of them, for your accent betrays you.
I swear I do not know the man.
Then Peter remembered what Jesus had said. "Before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times." And he went out and wept bitterly. When morning came, all the chief priests and the elders of the people conferred together against Jesus in order to bring about his death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, his betrayer, saw that Jesus was condemned, he repented and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders.
"I have sinned by betraying innocent blood."
But they said, "What is that to us? See to it yourself." Throwing down the pieces of silver in the temple, he departed, and he went and hanged himself. Now Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him,
"Are you the King of the Jews?"
You say so.
But when he was accused by the chief priests and elders, he did not answer.
Do you not hear how many accusations they have made against you?
But he gave them no answer.
not even to a single charge, so that the governor was greatly amazed. Now at the festival, the governor was accustomed to release a prisoner for the crowd, anyone whom they wanted. At that time, they had a notorious prisoner called Jesus Barabbas. So after they had gathered, Pilate said to them,
Whom do you want me to release to you? Jesus Barabbas or Jesus who is called the Messiah?
For he realized that it was out of jealousy that they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent word to him, Have nothing to do with that innocent man, for today I have suffered a great deal because of the dream about him. Now the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus killed.
Which of the two do you want me to release to you?
Barabbas.
Then what shall I do with Jesus who is called the Messiah?
Let him be crucified.
But why? What evil has he done?
Let him be crucified.
So when Pilate saw that he could do nothing, but rather that a riot was beginning, he took some water and washed his hands before the crowd.
I am innocent of this man's blood. See to it yourselves.
His blood be on us and on our children.
So he released Barabbas for them. And after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole cohort around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on his head. They put a reed in his right hand and knelt before him and mocked him, saying,
Hail, King of the Jews!
They spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. After mocking him, they stripped him of the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they went out, they came upon a man from Cyrene named Simon. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall. But when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they crucified him, they divided his clothes among themselves by casting lots. Then they sat down there and kept watch over him. Over his head, they put the charge against him, which said, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left.
You who would destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross.
He saved others. He cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down off the cross now, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God deliver him now, if he wants to, for he said, I am God's son.
The rebels who were crucified with him also taunted him in the same way. From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice,
Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. God, my God, why have you forsaken me?
This man is calling for Elijah.
At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the others said,
Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him.
Then Jesus cried again with a loud voice and breathed his last. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and rocks were split. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now, when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said,
Truly, this man was God's son.
Many women were also there, looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him. Among them were Mary Magdalene, and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who also was himself a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his new tomb, which he had hewn in the rock. He then rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb. The next day, that is, after the day of preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said,
Sir, we remember what that impostor said while he was still alive. After 3 days, I will rise again. Therefore, command the tomb to be made secure until the 3rd day. Otherwise, his disciples may go and steal him away and tell the people. He has been raised from the dead, and the last deception would be worse than the first.
You have a guard of soldiers. Go, make it as secure as you can.
So they went with the guard and made the tomb secure by sealing the stone.
I invite you to rise in body and spirit for our hymn for Holy Week, number 200, Were You There?